Okay, everyone. Hi. Good day to all of you. Kind of got a little freaked out there a few minutes ago because I was trying to go live and my system wouldn't let me. Oh my gosh, I started having remembrances of that from several months ago. So, my heart started pounding and my hands got a little sweaty and just got a little destabilized for a few minutes. But we are on and we are on live. Thank you for joining us. Last week, my husband and I, we were traveling. We were on the longest road trip. Seriously, we put like over 2,800 miles on our car. And we went to Cayucas, where our grandson was baptized in the ocean. And then we went on several locations to national parks. In fact, five. Southern Utah, and we went to even Death Valley, which was like really incredible in the weirdest kind of way I could even tell you. But I'm really glad that we're on live today and we want your comments. Okay, when I say we, I mean all of us, because collectively we're making this Rich Girl broadcast really come alive. And I thank you all for listening to it, watching it, but I also thank you for sharing it with your friends. And we are doing that. And I'm seeing many reposts and all that kind of thing. So thank you for that. Appreciate the time with us. I know that our topics are really valuable. And today is no exception to that. So today we're going to talk about what really matters. So I posed a question to all of you, and that was tell me, what have you released? What have you released in your life to embrace something better? Some of the things you can talk about, probably a lot that you really can't. But you know what I'm talking about, right? You're releasing something to embrace something better. So I want to chat with you today, but I also want you to chat back with me in comments. Hopefully, my comment section is working. So try me out, all right? I want to tell you about a story that is actually from my life and it involves my children, two of my children especially. And so I didn't get permission from them, but when they were really younger, a lot younger, we had so many experiences that I like to teach and tell about because that's probably some of my best training is through in and through my children. But several years ago, I came home from taking our youth group from church on a water skiing trip. And my was at a soccer a competition at that time. And my son and my husband were miles away, bringing in all the equipment, the boat, all that. I walked into our home to find the back door had been shattered on the laundry room floor. Glass and broken wood were everywhere, and we had been robbed. And I knew it right away. I knew it. A cold chill just ran down my spine. And I didn't know if I should go any further into my home or if I should run to the neighbors. I was really scared to be in my home where no one else was at that time. So, of course, I did run to the neighbors and to get their help. And we quickly discovered that, in fact, our home had been robbed. And all of my expensive jewelry that expanded over decades of achievement were gone. And most of them were awarded to me for performances of the years of top achievement. Now, they were symbols and they had attached many memories of our company's founder, giving them to me on a beautiful stage with our peers in the audience. Seeing all those beautiful things now gone, the stunning diamond rings, the bracelets, the necklaces, and many people would consider priceless pieces are now gone. You guys, I was in total disbelief and I felt violated in a way that left me weak and very confused. And I was angry and I was even angry at God. And I kept thinking, really, God? This happens to our family while we're in service to you for your people? Okay, that's terrible and I admit it, but it does get better. Okay. Well, it gets better in a minute. Right during all of this time, a phone call came in while the police were dusting for fingerprints. And my daughter, who was playing at that soccer tournament, I was told, is being rushed to the hospital. So my friend Margot said that in the phone to me. We are rushing your daughter to the hospital. We will meet you there. And then she hung up. No details, only where they were taking her. And who are they? Where are they going? Where's Amber going or Margot going? Where's the ambulance going? How quickly can I leave here? How hurt is she? Can I just leave the house right now, even though my house is full of police officers? And falling back on my bed, I remember just falling back on my bed and saying out loud, this is a very, very bad day. This was also a very heavy dose of reality. See, nothing else was important or meaningful now. Within minutes, I went from personal loss of things that really matter, or do they matter, to my daughter. Tears stung my face as I pleaded with my Heavenly Father for her safety, not knowing what was worse, the horrible thing I didn't know what was happening, or just being in an uncontrollable environment and space. But my head and my heart were spinning, and they weren't spinning in unison, you guys. I could hear this police officers asking me questions, and I didn't understand a word that they said. It all sounded like slow motion to me. Police cars outside our home and my son in tow. We hurried, we jumped into the car, and we drove and prayed with eyes that would not or could not blink. Now, I cried also with shame for my former thoughts of what was now and what was gone. How could I be so superficial? How could I set my heart on things that really have no lasting value at all? And I promised God that all the jewels and all the diamonds would be forgotten and I would let them go. I would release them mentally. I would release them from being important if only this one request of my daughter's safety would be granted. So, my rich girl members, rich girl friends out there, my second question to you is, have you ever made a deal with God? Now, I cannot see any of your comments here in the comment section. And I'm not exactly sure why, but you make them, because we will see them shortly after this broadcast, which, by the way, is 15 minutes, sometimes a couple of minutes more than that. But my question is, have you ever made a deal with God? Because I was making a deal with God right then. When my son and I finally arrived at the hospital, and after searching in the halls everywhere, we found them. I found that the accident that she had was not fatal, was not even severe. She was okay except for an arm injury and some knocks and some bruises. But until I saw her, I had no idea that she was going to be all right. Yet, when it mattered most, what would I give up? There was no hesitation from me, of course, and there wouldn't be from you, right? How could there be? At that very moment, every heavy thing in my heart, I left it aside. Before anyone thinks of me as brave or some kind of hero, which I am not, because I've often had, I think, situations where I've had to choose between what is real, what is important, what matters, and what really doesn't matter. I can get caught up in all kinds of things. I can get caught up in recognition. I can get caught up in things that will rust out and wear out pretty fast. But I admit I was reserving something else that day. I was reserving most high anger and bitterness towards the person who had robbed our home. And then what I heard as I let go of everything, but I hung on to that very small little sliver, which was actually pretty big, that I heard that voice inside me say that I must forgive that person too. I must leave that behind. And the message was really clear that holding on to any particle of what was going on that was keeping me in anger, keeping me in resentment, would likely grow in its magnitude. You know, I know that everyone has a victim story. Seldom do those stories really serve anyone, and certainly this one would not be a cheap substitution for what really I was meant to learn, what really mattered. When we all came home, I was not mad at God anymore, but I was grateful. I was very grateful for the real life lesson and also his protection. Several days later, I had to come to the honest conclusion that all the diamonds, the bees, the bar pins, the huge diamond rings were all simply symbols. No one could really rob me of the person that I had become, what I had gained personally in those decades. No one could rob me of the knowledge, the personal growth, the experiences, or most importantly, the relationships. These are the true treasures of what we really take with us. And I know that in the final roll call of life, you guys, the final roll call, I believe, will not be how many awards we've won or how many times we've crossed the red carpet or that big bright stage of award celebrations. It will be how many lives we have actually touched, how many times we've asked ourselves, What really matters here? And then follow that inspired lead. Did we make someone else's lighter load in life? Because many people are carrying a heavy load right now, mentally, physically, spiritually. Have we encouraged, supported, taught, forgiven, actually loved one another? Everything that is real, everything that is real, the good that we can do are also in the memories placed right now in the people that we have done them for. Right now, also in our past, and also in our future going forward. Those people have memories of those too. It creates so much goodness in the world. It's been a really long time since we had that robbery happening in our home, and I have many years since then walked the red carpet, proudly walked on the $1 million stage, and been awarded multiple times great awards, even #1 for the company twice. It's been a life privilege to teach and be the keynote speaker in many international invitations. However, I will tell you that my perspective is so much different now. While appreciating the awards, while appreciating the travel, the experiences, the people, and the eye-popping gifts, they all have a real different meaning for me. Less control of why I do what I do. What I do, because now I do what I do because it matters. I've had the extreme privilege of walking into Mary Kay's arms to feel her soft hands cradle mine and to look into her beautiful aquamarine eyes and receive stunning jewels placed in beautiful black velvet boxes. I've had that. But the difference for me now is I know the real value of those experiences. It's been when hearts have met hearts, rejoicing in being alive in that moment. That comfort when you and I realize that we really do make a difference and that your life matters. It stays long after we exit the stage and the applause is silent. How is it that each of us can know with assurance that our life really does matter? Well, have you found it? If you have found it, you've probably found it in ways where you can serve others. That's where I have found it. And I know that's where you'll find it too. Getting away from yourself and serving others. Have you seen it in living your life one precious day at a time and also being faithful to your own next step? I believe that's how most of us find it. Being faithful to your own next step and not running too far ahead of yourself. We're all getting through hard days, but I know that if we do it one step at a time, seeking to serve one another, that's the things that really, really do matter. You matter. And you know what? It also matters if another person is served by you, taught by you, helped by you, whatever, instructed or whatever, gained emotional support, but they never turned around to thank you. You see, it still counts, yeah. So each of us, I know, have a very important divine destiny. Happiness cannot, nor never will be in the things of the world. It's important, I believe, very important, that we believe that and we know that. For what we believe in is what we will also seek after, because what we value is always going to be our guide. So in our searching with the power that we might gain if we all become just a little bit more unified, a little bit more about one another, what kind of world could we offer if we all offered up just a little more mercy? If we all offered up a little more kindness and acceptance of others, if we were less inclined to judge, but more inclined to love one another. Oh my gosh, how different would our world be if we were all posing the question to ourselves several times a day. This question: what really matters? What really matters? Could we think differently? I think so. Would we do differently? Oh, absolutely. I'm certain of that. And then, of course, because we did differently, we're all going to have different results, a whole different result. I want to thank you all for joining me today and also for all of our topics that we present. And join me for the next several sessions that we're doing on the topic of strong women. If you would like to consider sharing these broadcasts with other people, please do. Family, friends, whatever. Let's raise the roof on this reach. Let's raise the roof. We may not be able to do it all, my friends, but yet we can do something. And the something that we can do, let's do it. Let's do it together. Let's it begin with us about what really matters. Thanks for posting. As soon as I'm off, I will look at all your posts. Thank you. I just didn't see them today for whatever reason. Technology didn't allow that, but we'll see them. So thank you again. Appreciating every comment that's out there. God bless your lives. Let's go for what really matters. Thanks for joining us.